Renars podcast.
Okay, so here we have a little intro music. Oh shit.
I love it.
Oh shit. Yeah, this song is getting old, but anyways. So today my guest is Alex Enns.
That's
That is
right.
a really cool last name. I like it, man. Thank you so much for coming over.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, and we're still here in Bali, and we met about 3 weeks ago at our lovely friend's Ivan's little gathering, and we started talking, and I was like, you should come to a podcast. And you were like, okay, I come to a podcast. This is exciting. So, and the very first thing it did excite me, and what I thought really, would love to a little bit to know more about is you are a linguist, or what is the right way to say? So linguist, and you speak 5 languages fluently and 2 kind of ish. Okay, let's go straight away with that. Linguists, what are linguists? What is the definition for linguist?
That's a person who studied linguistic sciences, and that's exactly what I did. The most common question is, did you study languages? So when people hear something like linguistics or this kind of word, right, they immediately have this imagination that somebody, or the idea that somebody just speaks many languages. Which is the case with me, but it's nowhere near the truth.
Okay, so linguist can be someone who just speaks only 2 languages or even
Absolutely.
1 language. Yeah,
Absolutely.
So it's a study about 1 or 2 or 3, whatever languages it is. So then when you say study, so what exactly do you study about language? About what is it? Grammar, rules, how to apply it? But it almost sounds like you could teach, if you are English expert or linguist, so you can teach it, but also in more of a depth than just a high school or school level. How does that work?
Yeah, you're partially right. So I could, of course, teach after the degree, but it's a little bit off topic because what you learn. So basically, before you start your studies, you should make a decision. Am I going to be an educator, aka teacher, or am I going to be a scientist? That's very important because, obviously, you have to learn different things in order to have that, right? So it's one thing to know something, and it's a complete different one to actually teach something. So yeah, teachers, they learn how to present this stuff, right? Whereas the path that I have chosen for myself, philology, this is something that where we actually go much deeper without the skill of actually teaching that stuff, because it's simply not in our curriculum.
Right. So I told you that my mom, she's a philologist as well.
Right.
She has 1 degree in journalism, and I think one of the things that she was studying philology as well. So I'm not really sure how in depth she was in philology, but she did a journalist degree. So so linguist, philology. Now, can we start from what is linguist again?
Sure. The broadest possible definition is science of language.
Okay.
Right. That covers not only the language, like I said. Of course, it's one part of it. You need intimate knowledge of the language that you study in order to understand what it is you're studying, of course, right? Because this is the subject. But also etymology, for example, where the words come from, their origin.
So it's a history of the words.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. So very often you kind of wonder how did this word came? And then it's because of the Greeks or because of this and
That's exactly it. I find it super interesting.
Right.
100%.
Do you remember that movie? What was that movie where this guy, the father, kept saying, "Oh, actually, angel comes for the Greek word angelus or something," and he kept saying that all the words actually come from Greek.
Yeah.
So because kind of makes sense. A lot of from Greek mythology and Greek history comes from. But every time he would talk to someone, I think it was something wedding, something when someone gets married very late, this very classical movie. I don't know.
Ah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's one of history, right?
Right. So broadly speaking, you have the language itself. Then you have the science of the language, which means, like I said, etymology, right? And phonetics, for example, phonology, all the aspects, basically. How to use language. How is language used in order to achieve any goal, which means that can be manipulation in a neutral sense of that word. Right. For example, I don't know. I can make you do stuff through language. I can ask you to please give me some water, and hopefully you will, for example, right? So language as an instrument,
Right.
which it is,
For
obviously,
communication.
right?
For communication and like delivering your message.
Right.
Okay.
And then the history of the country itself as well.
And how important it is to know that? Because like sometimes, in general, like this question about like how important for us to know the history, and one of the responses is like, so we don't repeat the same mistakes. So we learn from history, right? So what do we learn, and how important is to learn or know the history of the language?
I wouldn't say that this is one of the major things. It is major for linguists, especially when you want to work in this field, like a PhD and postgraduate.
Yeah.
Postgraduate. Exactly. You should know the history, right? But it's far more important, I think, to know the language itself. And if you know the history, then, for example, if you know, that the Spanish Peninsula was under the control of the Arabs over 700 years, then you're not surprised to find Arabic words in Spanish, let's say.
Okay, so it's kind of almost like explaining the reasoning for why certain words are used in a certain countries and certain cultures. Like, I mean, like in Americans, for example, when all the colonies like came there from Italy, from all sorts of like different European countries. So that's one of the reasons why English language is very rich, because they would have from German language, from Italian language, from Spanish language, and they just kind of muster all together, right? Is that
Exactly,
true?
exactly, yeah. Of course. Like, for example, right now for me, when I see a Spanish word and it starts with al, which is the Arabic article, alhambra, the red one, for example, almohada is the pillow. So I know then, or when you have studied the linguistic of this the science of this language, then you know that is probably the result of this Arabic influence, which is super interesting for me, at least.
Right. Right away, when we talk about languages, history, and like, there's a lot of words, especially for the names of like the animals and that kind of stuff. Like they have like Latin name for it, right? When they say like fox, I already forgot like something.
Yeah, me too.
So because I remember there was this one cartoon movie about like different animals, and they were talking about lupus. I think that was something like a fox or something.
Yeah.
So anyways, the Latin language. So someone who grew up in a Catholic family, and my mom, she was a journalist who had a magazine about Catholic life, and literally the title of the magazine called The Life of Catholics, right? So she would get in a depth in studying certain things about the Latin and stuff. So, but Latin, as people know, it's like considered to be a dead language or the old language. So only priests and doctors use that, right? So how much did you learn, and how much do you understand about Latin language, and what kind of significance does it have in like current culture and language?
All right. Excellent question. I love it. Especially because I'm so disappointed in our system, because after I graduated, they actually removed Latin for linguists from the curriculum, which is insane, because for the Romanic languages, Latin is the mother, right? Yes, it is a dead language, sure. And even less people use it because doctors don't really use it. I don't know what for, but they still study all the bones and everything in this. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense in my opinion, but whatever. Nobody asked me. But for linguists, this is my daily bread. So during my training, I had to do a lot of translations from French to German, from German to French, and Spanish, and all the other languages that I studied, right? And whenever I didn't know a word, which occasionally is the case, you cannot know all the words, right? I tried my best, but there is always blanks, right? Then I just take Mother Latin, and I just dissect the word that I don't know. Very often it has a prefix, a root, and a suffix. And then if I have the root, which is very often Latin, obviously, and then if I know the root, then I can, and I know the prefix, right? I can just reverse engineer the meaning. And very often that worked out. Right. So it's very, very helpful. Yes, it's a lot of work, of course, but it's not like for doctors, which they learn it in the studies and then never ever use any word of Latin.
Yeah, which is quite counter productive thing to do, 100%. Right? And then tell me about the actual origins of Latin language. So where does it actually come from? Which countries, which cultures did you use it originally?
Well, the Roman Empire.
So Roman Empire
Yeah.
used Latin language,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And then how many years ago? Like how old? How long is the history?
Oof. We're talking more than 2,000 years. Yeah. So it's ancient. And also you have the difference between the High Latin, the classical Latin, right? And the Latin that was actually used vulgarly. Now we know vulgar, right? Vulgar is something that it comes from vulgus, from the what is the word in English? The people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's the language of the people.
Oh,
Which
I
means
thought you were
now-
saying the word vulgar.
Yeah,
like
it
when
is.
Someone is swearing. That's
Exactly.
vulgar. So
Yeah.
that's actually means people?
It means that you're using a non-adequate language.
So it's like a synonyms could be like a slang or like the common language, like peasant language. Almost
Exactly.
Like,
That's
okay.
exactly that. Yes. See, this is the thing.
That's very interesting. Okay, so in one of the reasons why Latin language was maintained, obviously for priests and for like religious reasons, is because that was considered to be like the old language, and then they would like, well, this is being written in the old language, and in order to follow these kind of the rulings and these rules, like what was said there, then we need to maintain that language. So it's kind of like because priests would read the Latin, and they was like, oh yeah, that's what it means. What was the reason for the hospitals and for the doctors to take Latin? Also because Greeks and Romans, like they were actually call all these words like in Latin, and they're like, oh, so we have names for that in Latin, but we don't have yet in whatever other language they speak. What was the reason?
I don't have a precise answer, just an educated guess.
Yeah.
Medicine was not invented yesterday, right? It has a rich history. And my guess is that since the Latin was spoken in a vast region, and historically speaking, medicine evolved from that region. Right. So it was a very influential reason.
Right. Do you think one of the comparisons could be like with the computer language? So, for example, the computer language, when in English, because English is the ones which was pushing from the very beginning. Like, let's say we have a folder, like in a, you have a folder on a computer. You see that you say Windows or whatever. So a lot of language, Russian languages which you speak, and Latvian language which I also speak, is we, instead of creating our own names, we just use that name. We just say like, oh, we just kind of adapt to it, you know? So that's kind of like as well, instead of inventing a word in that language, which would be difficult. So like all the like linguists come together. So how are we going to call this, right? But instead you just, okay, so that's what it is. So I guess then that's how they did with Latin. If there is a word for the bone or the word for like certain part of the body. So instead of like, oh, let's invent new word, how about we use the one which has already been used?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very good analogy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also it separates you from the people.
Yeah,
right.
peasants.
Because of peasants, exactly. That's exactly it, right? Yeah, because medicine is and used to be a very high status profession, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, and it's like because also the priests were the first people who could read, and there were so many people, and that's interesting that nowadays people don't understand how many actually people were illiterate. And it's still, I mean, in the world, there's a big thing about that a lot of people cannot read, right? But back in the days, it was way crazier. So only like a couple people would be like who are literates. And then the thing is, which, I'm someone who is very skeptical about religious stuff, right? So I would say like, well, this person can read, has charisma, stands up and tells everyone what to do. Everyone believes to it, So because they would consider, oh yeah, but they can read. Oh, they speak to God and all that kind of stuff.
You hit a nerve there. You said it's not the case that just a couple of linguists are coming together and then inventing a word, remember, from the computer science, for example. Yeah. France did that, for example. Like France is a very restrictive language and culture.
Restrictive towards who?
Towards other languages, which means they really... French was spoken everywhere. In Russia, even
right. I remember,
in the court, in the Russian court, it was.
Well, that was during Napoleon. During Napoleon, when he was like, taking everything over, and that very similar. Then after how many years later, it was with Germany, with German language as well. When Hitler was going around. So okay, like they got to Latvia as well, and they're like, oh shit, now we need to learn German language. So yeah.
So you would think this is not the case, but it is the case. Like, for example, in France, it was legally forbidden to use English words or anglicisms. You would get a fine for it.
Right.
This is a puristic approach to language, which means language does not have the simple function for communication, but it's also a carrier of culture. So you have those two directions. And to be honest, throughout my studies, I have been one and then the other and then the next one again. I used to be a purist because I couldn't agree more that language carries culture. So it's not all about communication, right? You can also say, me hungry, give steak. You would understand me, but do you really want to speak like that, right? And there is also another part of the equation where a study has shown that the deeper your language, individually, but also as a society, the deeper your thoughts.
True.
Right? Like, for example, if you know what capitalism means, then I can just use this as a vessel, and it has a lot of meaning, right? And if we both understand it, then we save energy, because I don't need to explain all the facets of capitalism to you in order to convey the idea. I just say capitalism, you're like, okay, got it. And then we move on.
Very interesting. There's a lot of things going on with what I'm thinking about. First of all, totally agree. French people and also Italian people, to me, every time you go to visit their countries, they're like, well, you should speak the language. Like, I'm a fucking tourist. I'm just going through and like, can I get a baguette? No. How do you say that in French? How dare you not to know the French language? And I remember the first, like, just as a student, as a kid, just going through, and you can feel that they're like, just, oh, how dare you not to speak, you know? So where you draw the line, it's just a tourist going through. Like, can't you just be nice to them? Like, you know, or like you have to show them that if you want to be in this country, like, it's not like I'm getting a visa, but I know what you're saying. So that's true. Then I agree about how beautiful it is to have purest language. It is. My mom from very early age, she was like, you speak Russian, speak only Russian. If you speak Latvian, speak only Latvian. And then she would give me shit for like using ams and ems and filler words and stuff. So for her, that was important. And now, funny enough, I give shit to other people when they overuse words like, I'm like, that, no, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you know, and that is kind of, you do enjoy that, and that shows a level of kind of academia, or just the level of eloquency that someone can use the language. And language is beautiful. And when someone uses intricate and beautiful words, like even in English for me, right, I just hear like, oh, I like that. I really enjoy that conversation, instead of, you like, I don't know, literally walking down the street.
Yeah, it is convincing, isn't it? When somebody is actually able to choose the words precisely in order to convey an idea.
Right.
Not only do you listen to the argument itself, but how it is presented is so important.
Right.
That's what I love about language.
And then interesting is that kind of like someone who speaks very well, unfortunately, very often you create disbelief to that. You kind of, ooh, he's hiding something, because it also kind of correlates with politics. And politicians very often lie. Just because they know how to say it, how to, you know, like, or lawyers, right? So they know how to use the right words. Then so sometimes, like when someone speaks like as a peasant and just the simple words, then like, okay, I trust this person more. But it's a very, very interesting one. Yeah, cool concept. Because one of my friends in UK, we shared this passion for language, and she says. Like we have like we call it a brain orgasm. If one of us says like very nice sentence and we use like a fancy word or something, we're like, oh, that was good. Yeah, that was good. And then she says that, I was like, oh yeah, that's good. So you can appreciate that. And especially the English language has so many synonyms for like, it's insane. Like word wise, which are the most richest languages in the world?
Oh,
I'm not talking about, I guess, like if you're talking about Mandarin, that's a different story, because there's the characters. And they have thousands and thousands of them. But if we're talking about like a Roman alphabet, which is like a leading language with words?
That's a good one. I don't know the answer. Also, you have to phrase those questions very precisely in order to actually make any useful statements. But
Because among linguists, would they have this kind of conversation like, oh, did you know that actually this language has the most words?
Sure.
And, this is funny because like in a stand-up comedy, we have this one guy, he says that, oh, English language is the richest one, right? But I kind of want to agree also because of that fact that there are so many cultures coming in from all over the world and they would add their words to English, and that's how it would be, have more synonyms. And as a kid, I don't know how is it for you. For me, it was like when I started studying English language was I would have these old school Russian encyclopedias, and you just want to look up one word, and I'm like, how is it possible there's like 20 synonyms? I couldn't understand because like in Latvian language is way less. It's like 2, 3, whatever. And there's like in English like 15, 20, and there's a different meaning for it, which was very interesting. So yeah,
it just shows how nuanced a language can be, right? Because a synonym, it conveys the same idea, but it's not the same. There is different levels of how you use it, and like for example, smell. In German, we have 3 words for smell in order to convey the idea of bad smell, neutral smell, or good smell.
Right.
And sometimes I really miss those words. I really want to be as precise as I'm thinking something.
True.
And I can't. And sometimes it's my fault because I simply don't know the word. In other cases, the language doesn't permit. Like, for example, I assume you don't know Mandarin.
No.
Me neither. And then it's easy to say, but they have like, how many characters do they have? Thousands, right? So it's easy to assume that this is a richer language. But then if you understand the language and they say, I have this one example in my head where there's 2 women means chatter in Mandarin. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, chatter, right.
The concept with characters is kind of, it sounds so counterproductive because I believe that, Europeans or whoever, they have the alphabet. They make it much easier to learn it. So instead of, learn the whole character, you just write the word, the letters, and you create the word. So I believe that this is way easier to, communicate. So can you imagine so they don't have alphabet. So what the fuck do they do? Like
they do
A,
have
B,
an
C,
alphabet,
D, E, F, G, but they would count what.
Right, exactly, yeah. I'm sorry for being so German, but I 100% agree with you. It's inefficient, simply.
Exactly.
I mean, it takes us 26 characters in order to express absolutely everything we want.
Exactly.
And I don't think we are lacking anything compared to Mandarin and other languages that use much, much more.
Exactly. But they also have that, I don't remember, my girlfriend, she told me, like, what was that language? They kind of created this, like, a cheating version of it. They use letters like Greco-Roman Roman. Is that the Roman alphabet, what we use for English?
Yeah.
Latin. So they use it as well, but there's a name for it for Mandarin. And so then instead of learning all the characters, they just do that. Because also they need to type on laptop. Like, how do they get type? They're going to use that.
Right, exactly.
The funniest one was when I was doing karaoke, and I went to visit my girlfriend's family in Malaysia. And so there was like Chinese people come together and they were singing karaoke. Fuck me. So on the screen, there would be 5 different lanes of language. So the first one would be like in characters, right? So only like a couple people could read the characters. The second one was like that cheating version of characters, like written with words. And then they would have Malaysian, and then they would have like Indonesian. So it's like choose which one you want, and you can kind of sing that song. I was like, wow, very different. Like for me, that was kind of a culture shock to see how simple it is where I'm from, kind of thing.
And also, I mean, language has to accommodate the newest generations, right? For example, we have switched to smartphones, and now speed of communication has increased significantly.
Drastically, yeah.
Exactly. So now you have to accommodate for that as well. And if a language doesn't permit quick communication, then it will adapt. It will have to adapt, right?
Right.
People will find a way,
right?
Because it's a real problem.
And also, like, today, English is still the most spoken language? Or, because that's an interesting one, because obviously the population in China is massive, or the population in India, like 2 biggest countries and with a billion whatever people. But still, across the world, the most used language is English language, is it?
As a second language, yes.
As a
First
second
language? Yeah, Mandarin.
Yeah, first Mandarin.
Right.
But it's interesting because like if it doesn't go really out of China, so like it doesn't really go around the world.
Not yet.
Yeah, only yeah, exactly.
Who
not yet.
knows?
They go in a secretly.
Right.
They
Right.
already buy everything.
By the way, I have to come to the defense of the French people because you dragged them under the bus a little bit, so I really want to save them from the bus.
Oh, I'm just gonna put even more bus for you. Every time we meet French people, and it's like comedians also make fun of French people. They're never happy. They always have something to complain about. There's but in my experience, no, honestly, in my experience, I never had like big problems with French people. I like their originality. I like their kind of like, oh, how dare you kind of thing. But I enjoy that because that gives them character, and I can speak from my own experience because working in film industry, I meet a lot of French people, and they do come across like but I like that about them. So that's just like Russians when they go, what do you want?
Right.
So all of us, we have those traits, which is fine.
In my head, there's a distinction between the older generation of, let's say, French people, just because French is such a restrictive language, like I said, right? Defensive language, let's say. Because the older generation still hangs to this puristic idea of language. We used to be this big nation with a big language, and it was spoken worldwide, even in Russia, which, by the way, has left some traces in the Russian language as well. Basically, everything that ends with zh, mirage, and so on, right? Is maquillage, let's say, right? Yeah. It's French, right? So it had a high status. So, but this
abordage.
Don't know that one.
What was that? Abordage something. Because now I'm like keep thinking that. What words do I know?
There's a lot. Mirage.
Equipage.
Right. That's right.
Yes, I got one. Wait. Hey, see, I have these special buttons.
Nice.
Renars got one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Let's live up to that one.
Yeah.
So the older generation, which is dying out, now is being replaced by the new ones. And the problem of this defensive language approach is that you don't really learn other languages. So you don't introduce the educational aspect in your own community, in your own country, right?
Right.
Which means then, well, now French is not that big anymore. Right. English is far more important, obviously, but the educational system lags behind, which means now this is the reason why French people, or maybe Spanish people as well, react that way to English, because it's work for them to express themselves or understand other people. So they would always prefer, of course, French or like their own language, of course. So yeah, you're putting them in a situation where they're not like to be. But it's interesting. I think it's for any cultures and any backgrounds. There are going to be people who want to stay to they are patriots. They want to stay to their language, and their language is the best language. They don't want to travel, and they want to just sit in their own country. And I know in Latvia, a bunch of people like that. And since I was a kid, I was curious about different cultures, and especially about English culture and about American culture, the movies, the songs. So I was like, even though I couldn't fucking say anything properly in English, I still tried to say something, right? But my peers would be like, they were too shy to look stupid, right? And they were like, oh, I'd rather don't say anything. But if you don't say anything, you're never going to learn, right? So, and the other thing, like with French, and again, I want to say Italians, because that's what I see in England. I saw a lot. I would meet those people from Italy and also Spain and France. Germans usually would come with really good English. Like, it was interesting. But they tend to also stay in when they own communities, even though they're abroad. Like, and I would meet someone who's been 10 years in the UK. They can't say 2 words in English. I'm like, how the fuck? And they're like, but we just spend time with my friends here, Which is just... Environment is everything.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how we grow. We change or we don't change, simple. It's like in Bali, we have a very big Russian kind of minority Russian community. Yeah. And most of them just hang out with each other. And then you meet some Russians who... Actually, it's great. Recently, I met someone who could speak Bahasa, but they couldn't speak any English. So they hang out only with Russians, or they learn the Bahasa, which is pretty cool.
Speaking of which, learning Bahasa for me is much more complicated, difficult than other languages, even though it's a quite grammatically speaking very simple language.
Yeah.
Just because, and now this is the first time that I experienced that, because the other languages that I learned are close to home, let's say.
Right.
Italian and French and Spanish.
Remind me, what languages do you speak?
Russian, German, English, Spanish, French, Italian, and Bahasa.
And Bahasa, that's
Indonesian.
and Bahasa is the one which you need the most work, or like that's the newest one.
And why? Simply because the environment, like the aspect of environment that I mentioned before, the problem is that I simply don't find or have friends, local friends, just because they're culturally so far away from me that I cannot be myself. When I joke, I use a lot of irony, which they simply don't understand. They take it for face value. And that makes me really, I have a hard time bonding with Indonesians.
Irony and sarcasm. That's like two things where they have no fucking clue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is my nature, like 10% water, 90% sarcasm.
Yeah. That's how I grew up. Yeah, as well. Like I would be very sarcastic and even this is the crazy thing. In the beginning, I thought it was just a language barrier, but then I would know some Balinese whose English is very good. They understand everything what I say, and I'm being sarcastic. They're like, what?
Exactly.
And then you
and I
explain.
try to bond with those people.
Yeah,
It's impossible because, like I said, humor is such an important part of my life.
Yeah.
And if I cannot do that, then we simply don't connect. And if we don't connect, we don't speak, and that's it. That's the end of story. I've learned Spanish in 5 months. I was fluent. I came to to Spain with almost zero. I had to prove that I know a little bit, that I can survive. I actually had to prove that in my curriculum, right? Before they said, okay, you can go. And when I came back, of course, when I went to Spain, I studied in Granada, half a year. I knew that the hardest part is yet to come. I need to pass all the exams, right? In order to become a linguist. So I was very purpose about the learning, which is why I isolated myself from all the other Erasmus students, which is the exchange program in Europe.
Yeah, I know Rasmus very well, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So the first 2 weeks, it was the time that I gave myself to bond with other international students. And then I moved to another apartment, and I used to live with two Spanish sisters, and they didn't speak any English. So for me, it was amazing. Perfect. If I wanted to be understood and I didn't know the right word, I had to kind of find my way to explain myself through the idea that I wanted to
That's where you get
convey.
very efficient with the charades.
It's so good. Yeah, exactly right.
2 words.
Right.
First. but they would be guessing in Spanish. You were like, I don't know.
Right. Yeah. And there is a little riddle that I always present is why the hell do those sisters, why do I understand them worse and worse with each month that I spend there?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Simply because they figure out, Alex understands us now. So we don't have to put in the work to actually properly pronounce. And they just, they go like this, like Spanish people, insane, very quick. So, yeah, but I'm when I went back to university in Germany, I passed all the exams with flying colors. Easy peasy.
Nice. Because
I prepared myself. In 5 months, it's like going into bakery and ordering coffee, a croissant, and Spanish, please. This is how it felt like. But in Indonesian, I have been living here for 5 years. I am conversational. I wouldn't say I'm fluent, because I am. I'm probably not. Simply because I don't have Indonesian friends.
You just need to move into some Indonesian
Right,
people.
exactly.
Just go to the village and just like, hey guys, I gotta move in here. What's up? Or probably would be also the other thing is like would be cool to live somewhere where there are Indonesian kids, which you can interact with them.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Then they would have like very basic language.
Oh, this is great.
That's the best one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of my hobbies is photography, and I love children. So I just dropped in a school. I don't know where you went. I'm not following though.
I'm just gonna cut this out. I'm gonna be like, I love children.
I learned from a comedian. You can say I love children, but you must not be precise. I love 14 years old.
Oh my God. You must not, or
you must not.
You must not.
This is treacherous water.
Do you think it sounds good? I love children sentence.
Yeah, that's because it's the truth. I really love children.
Because I don't even know how to say it. Like I am fond of children. No, any way you say it, it just doesn't. It just sounds interesting.
Yeah, after the Catholic Church,
It's
derailed
like,
that.
just the sentence "I love children" is interesting.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but to continue, I had my camera, and there was
That's even better. I love children and I have camera.
right. So there was I found myself in a traffic situation. So I had time to look left and right, and on the left there was an open school, and there was dozens of children. I think it was either the last lesson or maybe I don't know. They had some sort of a break, and they're wearing these cute uniforms. Insane, so cute. Like we don't have that in Germany, right? So this is something that drew my attention. I went in, and since I was able to speak to them, and they didn't ever apparently seen a white person speaking Bahasa.
Wow. Where was this?
This was here in Umalas, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
They wouldn't see a white person speaking Bahasa.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. And I had a really good time asking them questions and answering. That was
That's pretty cool.
very, very good experience.
Yeah, because it is very different perspective and understand. Like, I remember when I was a kid, like I grew up in a very small, tiny town in Latvia, and like we would not have foreigners at all. But if we would get some, we would be so excited to like just say something, and they would understand and be like, hee, like all this. Because first time for me was like when I went to Norway for like the student exchange and stuff, and I just loved it, and it was amazing. And straight away that traveling, that seeing other cultures, just like show like wow, the world is bigger. Like there's so much more to see, and like. And straight away you like feel more hopeful. So with you, so you were born in Germany, or were you born in Russia, and then you grew up in Germany? What's your origin story?
Right. I was born in Far East Russia.
Okay, Far East Russia. What's the name of the city?
It's called Svobodny, which means free.
Freedom, yeah.
Yeah, which is perfect for me. It's perfect, really.
That sounds good. Not a very big city, like.
No, very small city. It was actually a military base. My dad used to be a soldier, an officer, and that's why we went there. So first 5 years of my life I spent there, and then 5 more years in near Novosibirsk in Siberia, and this is where we moved to Germany. So
10 years later, so when you were 10, then you moved to Germany.
Right.
What was the reason to move to Germany?
Well, I guess it was the economical situation in Russia, which was disastrous.
What year was that?
That was 95.
95.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Germany recently got united, and it's a welfare state. And since my mom has German roots, we had the support from the German welfare state.
Oh, nice.
Which is amazing. Yeah. It means they provided apartment. They provided even food, money as well, like a certain amount of money per family, per child, and so on.
Like subsidies.
Exactly.
And then, do you have brothers, sisters?
I have 2 younger brothers. One was born in Russia, in the second part of my story, in Siberia, and the other one already in German.
How is Siberia? Like I only hear dreadful stories because like how back in the Gulag days that they send people to Siberia and all this stuff. But I understand Siberia is massive, first of all.
Yeah.
And then they send people to in Stalin days. The people they didn't want to do stuff like from Latvia, they would just disappear in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
But they would send them to some like deep in nowhere, like some forest or something. They leave them like small towns and villages, right? But like
far worse, actually.
Even worse.
It was working camps.
Oh, there was working camps, right? Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
But then there's like what are the most popular cities, like kind of well-known cities in Siberia?
There is none except for Novosibirsk.
So Novosibirsk, that's a city.
Yeah.
How big is it, like population-wise?
Oh, I'm not sure. I think it was about 1 million, but I might be mistaken here.
Okay.
I don't know. I've never been, actually.
Yeah, since you left.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, well, you were so young.
I lived like 300 kilometers, which is nothing compared to the scale of Russia, right? So when I say near Novosibirsk is not really near. It's 300 kilometers
Yeah, that's
in a small city.
That's like crossing the entire Latvia.
Oh, yeah. See, exactly. On the scale of Russia, it's nothing.
Yeah,
but
Russia's
otherwise,
massive.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, and then Germany, what city did you guys move to?
Wait, you wanted to know something about Siberia?
Just what is the most known city, pretty much.
Oh, I
that's
see.
Novosibirsk.
I see.
What do you say? How do you call it in English?
Oh, it's the same Novosibirsk, New Siberia. Yeah, I
New
don't know.
Siberia. New and fresh.
Right, exactly.
Come to visit. Come to visit us.
Come to us. Yeah.
But then you moved to so Germany. And what city did you guys grow up?
So for me, it was Bremen.
Bremen, yeah,
Yeah.
I know very well. There's like Bremen's musicians.
Right, musicians, exactly.
Actually, the first time I went to Germany was in Bremen because we went there to World Hip Hop Championship because I represented Latvia in hip hop.
What haven't you done?
Dude, everything.
My God.
Everything. Like, I don't know, like
That's impressive.
every time when I talk to people, they're just like, "What the fuck?" But it's so dancing. I was since I was like, so you are a dancer. Like we can talk about this. But like I started the folk dancing in Latvia, like which is like the народные танцы. What do you call them? Folk dance.
Folk,
right?
yeah.
And then I started doing ballroom dancing, but I always wanted to be like Justin Timberlake and Backstreet Boys, and I would see them. And then in my little town, we have nothing like that. We kind of did something, but not really properly. And then I moved to Riga, to capital, and then I found like the biggest hip hop dance crew. I joined them, and literally 2 years later, I was in the World Cup representing Latvia.
Insane.
It was fucking awesome. And then in Bremen, actually, I saw my first black person.
What in Bremen? Of all
I
places.
was 19 or 20 years old. I never seen a black person.
Wow.
And I came over, started talking, and 2 hours later, I was in his place eating sandwich. I'm not kidding you. This is so weird because I came over like, "Hey, sir, how are you?" And he was quite fresh from Africa, so his English wasn't very good. Like,
Right.
and he was like this poet guy, whatever. And like and then we stayed like pen pals for a while. It's just
Crazy.
so bizarre.
How old have you been?
Sorry, I was like 20.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Just, but still haven't traveled much and stuff. So for me, it was very exciting. So yeah, Bremen, it's beautiful, beautiful little city.
Beautiful but gray.
Gray.
Yeah, very gray. That's why I moved to Bali.
That's what you're great.
Yeah.
But how big is it? What's the population there?
600,000.
600,000.
Yeah.
That's decent. That's like, that's a good size.
It's big for Germany, yeah.
Yeah. I think like 200,000-300,000. That's a good size. Obviously, it depends how well they do the infrastructure and how they do that stuff.
We didn't even have metro.
Right. You had the trams.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
And buses.
I remember tram stuff. And Riga trams are big. Also, don't have subway in Riga, so I don't know. Like they're afraid to dig under.
Right. It's a massive project.
Yeah, it's huge. Okay, and so then Bremen, you lived. What you did? Your uni there as well. So you
No. Oh, luckily I made it out of this gray city. Yeah.
Right.
Anyways, so I did high school there, and then for my studies I moved to Bonn, which is the former capital.
Bonn.
Bonn,
Really? It's former capital of Germany.
West Germany. Yeah.
Oh shit!
So there was
I didn't know that.
West Germany, Bonn, and East Germany, Berlin.
Oh.
And then after the unification of Germany, 89.
So after the
became Berlin.
wall
Yes,
collapsed,
it
right?
became Berlin. Yeah. Yeah, not many people know that. And also it's the
I didn't know
birthplace
that.
of Beethoven,
Bonn.
Bonn. Right.
Cool. Look at this. Nice learning. Beethoven was born there. But then also your family moved there already after. So when they unified, when they got back together,
Yeah,
right?
95.
Yeah. Oh, that was exactly that year.
No. 89 was the unification.
89.
And 95,
okay.
a couple of years later, we moved there.
Because that was like, that's something what I don't know that much. And I think, I'm not sure about other people, but like in general, this idea that there was like in Germany for how many years there was a communist side and then there was like, not communist side, like, like
Capitalist.
German side, like capitalist side.
Yes.
And how the communist side was struggling for everything, for like food and whatever. And then they would have families on each side and they wouldn't be able to visit each other. If
Horrible.
they could, it was so difficult and stuff. And it was, I didn't know that much about the German wall. But I remember, so you said it was
89.
89. So I was already 4 years old. Yeah, I was born 84. 5 years old. But I remember some kind of vague videos or something, how they were like taking apart the wall.
Yeah.
Very crazy.
That's crazy part of Germany, really. Historically speaking, Germans were shooting Germans.
Yeah.
Whenever somebody tried. Yeah. And people tried and died
Jeez.
crossing the border.
Okay, so move to Bond. Bonn. Sounds like Bond.
Bond.
007.
Yeah, I studied linguistics in Bonn, which was amazing because it's one of the strongest universities for linguistics. amazing. Yeah, I worked for the professor who
The
actually
professor.
yeah he established the Erasmus program in our university.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so since I was working, I was part of the family. I could pick which city I wanted to go.
Can you tell more about Rasmus program? Because I know about it. Because also in Latvia, so there were Rasmus programs where people could just students could go and study for like half a year or entire year to different countries. I never used it, but I knew about it. I even in my university there was a special, because I was part of the student parliament, like where we were organizing all the like fun stuff for like Christmas balls or whatever, like all the activities for students. But then we also had a very close to us there was a Rasmus, like the place where people would come and apply to study abroad. What do you know about it?
So basically, I mean, everybody can study anywhere. The biggest difference is that it's subsidized, which means if you're accepted, then you get money from the state, from this Erasmus fund,
Right.
I guess. And then it's easier, obviously, right? You don't have to work while studying, which
And
I
it's
feel
only
that.
in Europe, is it? Or you
Yes,
can also
yes.
go states. States is different, isn't it?
You know what? I think this program has seen some extensions, but I'm not sure. So when I started, it was just Europe. It might have seen some changes by now.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure.
How old are you now?
40.
40. You look like 25. Cool. You missed my birthday, bro. It was so good.
Oh, man.
Yeah. My birthday was just recently and we went to the water park. We got so tired. Like we were just running up and down.
I've never
and
been
like,
either, man.
Oh, and I've been like 5 times. And every time I go there, I feel like I've never been there before. It's
Really?
like, yeah. It's just so much fun. I love the little adrenaline, things and stuff. It was fun. Let's have a little break.
Blah, blah, blah. Renars podcast.
Okay, we back. There was an interesting video where these women were lined up to do the last challenge of this game, and there was a table, and it was covered with a cloth, and then the guy said like, so whoever is going to be the first and touch and take what is on the table wins. And the girl's like, oh yeah, ready. And he comes and takes the cloth off, and all it says on the table, like big letters, accountability.
I've seen that one. It's so good.
And the girls go, oh no, I cannot.
Just falling apart. Yes. Or where there is a similar joke where women are asked to pronounce words, and those are the tongue twisters words or something scientific, that they've never seen before, something like this, photosynthesis or whatever, very complicated words, and they just swipe through it easy, bam, and then the last word is sorry. They cannot pronounce it.
Oh my, no.
No, of course it's a joke that women never say sorry. That's what they're getting at. It's so hard to admit that you're wrong.
Got it. I have this button.
Is that the right one?
No. This shit, I always mix them. That's the one.
Yes.
Always mix them. Okay, we're back. Yeah, we're just talking about stuff. Dating. So single?
Single.
How long you been single?
Oof. I lost count. I don't know. It wasn't my intention to get in a serious relationship, so that's one reason.
Do you think? Oh, I love this one. Like I know the answer in my head, but I want to hear you. What do you think? So when they say like, who do you think is the prize? Is the man the prize, or is the woman the prize?
I never understood that question.
I understood very easy.
What's the prize?
No, well, the prize, surprise, that's the prize. No, the prize is like a lot of women, when they ask this question, they say that we are the prize.
Yeah.
The women are the prize, right? So, because, watched a lot of Disney fairy tales of like, princes fighting for the princess, like, and fight everyone like, oh, I got the prize and I got this lady now, right? But now if you think about today, like nowadays, so women, first of all, are so picky, like, okay, I don't say all of them. Some of you guys don't have standards. But in general, women are very picky. I need 6 feet tall. I need 6 figures. I need this and this. And this. So then they realize that the pool of what they have is like tiny. It's like 0.001%, right, from what they want. And when I don't know if that would go the same for men who are looking for women. Men very often are go, I just want someone cute and nice. So they treat me nice with respect, but knowing nowadays how many gold diggers are out there, then it's very challenging to find something cute and nice, So also, but going back to prize, the prize, what I think is that women think that they are the prize. Some men think that they are prize. I think we both are prizes in the sense of, I believe that you are my prize because, I would do anything for you. I will fight for you. And then she should think the same way.
Yeah.
That's when I think that's where there's a mutual respect, mutual kind of like, we're both in with this together and we like each other and, no matter what kind of thing, right? But if like a girl's like, well, he's doing everything for me because he really likes me and I can do whatever I want kind of thing, like, so fuck off, and guys can do the same thing, some pretty good looking dudes or whatever, they like, have this many girls and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I have an opinion on that. I feel like what you just said about 6 feet, 6 figures and so on, it's just people repeating after what they heard. It's not really their opinion.
It is, but at the same time, it's been repeated so many times that it does encodes in people's brains. All this famous thing, how people go around and ask girls, so you prefer a tall guy? Yes. Well, guys cannot change their height, but you can change your weight. And then they're like, well, let me,
put you on the scale.
Yeah, getting you on the scale. And usually they talk to bigger girls and they're like, how dare you?
Yeah. Right.
Sorry.
No, don't be.
No. What you were saying, like, I interrupted you.
Yeah, I think it's just not representative, I would say, right? People would say that who don't have an opinion. They really don't know what that means, really. And when people show them these statistics and so on, it's a nice thing and it's very illustrative, but I think there is nothing behind this, really.
Yeah. What do you think about this whole concept of that girls like bad boys? They attracted to bad boys more than to nice guys. So there's this like theory about how a lot of girls waste their lives or like their prime of their lives when they are, young, beautiful and all that with bad boys. And they know that they can't have them. Like someone who race cars, money, this, money, that, and that lifestyle. And then they always, after like when they age of 30 or close to 30, they're like, going to settle down now with a nice guy.
All right.
And then the nice guy is like, yeah, well, go back to your fucking bad boys. That's part of me want to say, but what do you agree that girls are attracted to bad boys?
I've seen this very informative talk show where one guy actually had the balls to say what he thought, and it was so good. I really enjoyed it because he said, I don't care what women say they want. I care about what they respond to.
Yeah, I've seen that one as well.
My God.
That's crazy.
It's so true.
What is the name of that? Is that like
I have no idea.
Hashtag? It's like tag starts with whatever. Like there's this. There are a couple huge podcasts now when they deal with the relationships and they talk about all of this stuff, and it's crazy sometimes to see these delusional women who are like, yeah, I want my boyfriend to make $1 million like a month. It's like, and what you got?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's a different kind of podcast talk about it, but it's interesting, this kind of stuff. But it's good that people kind of talk about it more. I like that. People address it. And then, like how many times that gold diggers get exposed, the guy who comes over like, oh, can I take a photo with you? And he's like, no. And then as soon as they see them getting in their car, they like jump, which is just someone that I hope is just set up. It's
staged, probably.
Hopefully, but if it's true, it just looks.
I mean, it is very often is the States, Florida, Miami, where you see these rich guys with status cars and so on, right? Maybe some of them are true. Who knows? But yeah, I don't watch this stuff at all. It's just
you're too smart for that. Okay, so. The first half we talked about linguistics, different languages. How often do you meet people actually who find that very impressive that you can speak multiple languages?
This is a very interesting question because during my studies, I had to defend my choice of study constantly. Partly, I know the reason is since I have been around Russian-speaking people at the university, so I studied linguistics, but also public law. And when I was in the first one, there was everybody, like Germans, international students, everybody. And in the linguistics departments, that was combined with the economy as well. The economists, they're money-driven, right? So
that's what I studied.
Oh yeah, I see.
I wasn't money driven. I just didn't know what to study.
Oh yeah. Exactly. We have that saying in German.
Just the lost cause. Like I even did my master's degree, MBA, just because I don't know what to do. Let's study a little bit more.
Right. In the economy department, I would say.
It's like business administration, isn't it, or economy?
Not MBA.
Yeah, it is economy, like faculty of economy, I think. Yeah,
exactly. So there is a lot of people who have the same background like me from Russia, from the Soviet Union, right? Yeah. And since they have seen how their parents are struggling, they were so prone to earn well that they go for the money rather than for their interest.
Right.
I had the balls to actually go for something that is actually genuinely interesting to me, which is law and linguistics. Right,
because law and linguistics.
Yeah, because I was convinced that if you're good at something, you will always find a place in this world. And how can you be good at something? You love what you do.
That's amazing. That's something what I really, in my core, knew that I'm right. But also growing up in Latvia, it was all about you need a degree in law or business or like a stable whatever. And so many people would study something and work in something they fucking hated, and their response would be, well, I cannot be an artist, even though like I want to do music or whatever, because it's not going to make me enough money.
Right.
But I always kind of knew, like, if you are really good at something, it doesn't matter what, even though in Latvia, obviously the market is so small, but obviously years later, listen, now you have the whole world on your palm, literally on your palm. And if you're good in anything, you're going to, make it.
That's right.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy, amazing.
I'm so grateful for my parents as well for not pushing me. They did, second guess my choice. Like, are you sure you don't want to be a doctor, engineer, or whatever?
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, that's what I want to do. And they just, gave their blessing and that's it. But also I have to say that I financed myself throughout the whole studies, right? So it's not like, hey, Papa, you finance me and then I go study philosophy or whatever, right? Something that will never pay off.
Hey, dig to philosophers. Come on, philosophy is amazing.
I love it. I am one. I
it's
would
just
even
people
say.
come and talk shit. This
Right.
is that's what we're doing right now. This is philosophy course.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that was my... that is partially the explanation that I have. And I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
You were talking about like choosing what you really want to do.
Right.
And you were never like kind of felt sorry about it and you just went for it and your parents supported you in that. But I straight away want to ask you, like, how did you know that like linguistics and law, and also how like both equally, or like linguistics, like languages was more and law is kind of the other thing, or law was the main one and then languages were like equal?
It was 50-50.
50-50.
Yeah,
like
maybe a little bit more linguistics, simply because I had two languages and law.
Right.
But law is a whole different thing. So I really had to digest everything and really dive into that because it's so different, right? And you know what? It's so funny that people ask me, why did you choose linguistics and law? Like, they don't have anything in common.
Both starts with the same letter.
Right.
That's right.
That's why.
Hey.
Yes. No, actually, my professor complimented me on my expression on the like when I turned in a paper, for example, and he knew that I was not a full law student.
Yeah,
right?
like a
Full
major.
means,
Like it's
right.
only major in law.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He asked me why is that? How is it possible that you are so much better than other people, let's say, and you have a different background, right? You come from Russia. You had to actually study German, right? So it's not easy. And this was also the first time that I asked myself this question: how come? And the explanation was, not only did I study linguistics, which is I'm gonna come to this connection.
Yeah, that's fine.
But also I moved to Germany and I was the only one in the family who spoke German, since my parents actually put me, instead of English class, they put me into German class, which is a questionable decision because we didn't know if we actually gonna move to Germany, which we did. And I had already a really, really good basis when it comes to grammar and stuff. And I couldn't speak German yet, but then 1 year after we moved, I was already fluent and very good. And then whenever any sort of communication from state to our family came, like in form of a letter, I was the one who was consulted, right? I had to translate, I had to answer, and so on. So the language that the state uses is very formal.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Same.
State goes, hey, what's up, bro?
Exactly. Unfortunately, by the way.
What's cracking?
Yeah, unfortunately. Because sometimes you need a lawyer to understand what the state wants from you, which is ridiculous, in my opinion.
Wow.
Yeah. From my 11th birthday, I was the legal head of our family, if you will. I have translated everything and so on, right? So my parents still, like my dad still struggles with German. My mom speaks really well, but it's now after what, 30
you
years.
were like young Sheldon. Have you ever seen that TV series?
I didn't, but I know what it is.
Because young Sheldon was doing the books. He was accountant for the
really?
family. Yeah, he was doing the tax return.
I see. That was not me. I was
No, but you were the lawyer.
Yeah, I was a translator, let's say. Yeah.
That's cool. So then, my question was why languages, and like why did you think linguistics is going to be? Because also, I would say like appeal for a young person would be like, well, I know more languages, I could get laid more.
Really?
No, I mean traveling and then get laid more. But so why linguistics? Like it's quite nerdy kind of thing, or you just love the idea of knowing more about the language?
When you are finishing high school in Germany, they send you to a facility which helps you choose your profession, which is a really nice thought. It doesn't work though, unfortunately.
It's called army.
Right. Not in Germany, unfortunately.
Well, in Germany, you have to do mandatory 1 year, isn't it?
I did it. Now it doesn't exist anymore.
Not anymore.
No.
But since when?
Since, I don't know, at least 7 years.
At least 7 years. But
Yeah.
still, it's not that long ago.
Yeah.
Because I remember like, I have a very good mate of mine whose name is Alex as well from Germany.
Oh, wow. Must be a smart guy.
Yeah, very smart guy. Very good looking one. Unfortunately, we lost the contact. Actually, should try to reach out with him. But I when I was doing my master's degree in Norway in Bergen, so we became good pals. And he told me like all the Germans have to go 1 year, the military stuff.
We actually had to do it.
Yeah.
But there was a loophole how you can avoid it.
Right.
But avoid just the army and go to civil service instead.
Castration.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, shit.
Could not resist.
In Game of Thrones, those are the best.
Yeah.
So
those are the best.
They don't have
and they send
any
you
distractions.
send box to your parents. Oh my god.
Oh, God. No, so I actually, for the very same reason, or very similar reason, I didn't want to go to the army because I knew what kind of people were commanders there.
Yeah.
I simply did not want that. And it was a crucial part, actually, because it was between high school and university.
Yeah.
And this was my first working experience. So I did the civil service in a hospital where I was transporting patients from their bed, basically, from their room to the whatever they needed to be done in that hospital, right? So very dumb work, very physical, no thinking involved whatsoever, right? So robotic almost. And this is where I understood, oh my God, I need to invest in myself in order to be, well, in a different environment, let's put it that way.
Right.
So that's why I did it. And yeah, I'm very happy that I did.
And why languages? Why linguistic?
Exactly, linguistics. So I was wise enough to actually use introspection for my choice, which means I looked inside myself and asked myself, what is it that I like? Almost like Ikigai, if you heard of that.
Yeah.
Right, so I did a very small, uninformed version of that, right? I was 21, maybe 20 even. So I thought, what is it that I enjoy doing? What am I good at? And that was languages, right?
Wow.
I was born in Russia, boom, Russian. I moved to German, boom, German. German education is, compared to other cities, countries, fairly okay. I have a very different opinion now, but anyways, let's don't go down that route.
Okay.
I've written a whole essay about that because I couldn't hold it in, about the educational system. And so I thought, let's do something that I actually know how to do. And during this civil service, I discovered this side of me that aligns well with my studies of law as well, because since the state puts me in a situation where I have no choice, I need to do it, I actually studied the manual of the civil service, and I figured out that the state is obliged to give me some time off and resources to pay for my education.
Right.
So that meant I don't have to do this mundane work, right? Very profane work, transport patient from A to Z. But also I could go and learn Spanish, let's say, which I did. So not only does the state give me off days for that, and plenty of them as well, he also finances this. So that's why I started my Spanish. That was my first experience with Spanish because my high school didn't offer it. And I was pretty good at it because I was so brain starved in this job that I really indulged myself into Spanish. I did all the homework and more, right? I started the first class, and in the middle, I got promoted to the second one because I was already ahead, and the teacher saw my enthusiasm for it and also maybe talent, I don't know. And then I started from the middle part of the second, and I finished with them, right? And then, so basically in 2 terms, I did 3 classes, basically, together with some of my teachers, by the way, which was funny because teachers also have access to those, right? That's why before university, first of all, this approach, what are my rights? So the state puts me in a situation that I have no access, no choice.
So that's really motivation to study law.
Right.
Good.
Because I really like to know what is my rights and where are the rights of other people and the state starts. So that was always in me, right? And also if you think about this, it's a weapon. Knowledge in law in a city, in a country like Germany, which is a very legal state, right? It's a weapon for defense purposes for myself.
Then you became like one of those American annoying videos. I know my rights. I know my rights. Can we just have your ID like you were speeding and I know my rights?
Yeah, I mean, I had some situations like that where one particularly pops out in my head right now where I was with a big bag after I think a pool day or something like this, and the cashier actually demanded to look inside my bag, and I was like, why? And she told me that her boss told her because there has been theft going on in the stores apparently, I don't know. And I was like, wait a second. No, I don't agree to that. And also, by the way, you are violating law. So I really actually knew the law, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just, hey, that's against the law. I knew exactly what law.
Exactly. And so she was like...
No, she's just a puppet, right? She does something that the boss decided.
Told,
right? So there's no sense blaming her, of course. She did a good job, basically, right? But then I said, I need the man to speak to whoever is in charge here. And I told him, if I see that again, you will have a problem.
And the man came out?
Of course. Of course. Yeah. And he apologized and let me go, of course. Little did I know I stole something.
Hey.
No, of course I didn't.
Undies. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, see the power of language and the power of law.
That is beautiful. I like that. And
also a thought that I wanted to finish, the professor who asked me, why am I so good at this? The second link that was missing was, if you think about this, law is very, very attached to language. Since if I don't find a word right now, I can just use a synonym and you will understand me and we're going to go alone, it's fine. But in law, manslaughter has a very different outcome for the person rather than murder, let's say. You must not just interchange. Yeah, exactly. You cannot just interchange them, right? So in law, every word has different consequences, sometimes very radical ones, which means you have to be as precise as it gets.
Right.
Which is something that I'm used to because I studied linguistics, right? So after my professor asked me how come that I actually good at this style, this specific style in law, I had to dive in and then understand, why, by the way. I don't know. I had never asked myself this question. And
that also reminds of this idea that instead of sword, you use your feather.
Oh, yeah.
When you used to write with feathers, so like the word has way more power than the sword does, and then it obviously in legislation, in government, it all makes a huge difference. When you mentioned about Ikigai concept, and I love it that you had this epiphany or this kind of like realization where you're so young, you were like 20.
Yeah.
Like you were just from high school, like you had this like a good time to think about while you were pushing like these, sick people from one side to another. You see, for me, I wasn't that lucky because first of all, in Latvia, we are kind of pushed straight away after high school to go to university. So you have a very small period of time to even understand what the fuck you want to do. Mm-hmm. We don't really have proper like career research, career days, or shadowing, or like do a proper research, like what do you want to study, right? And I love the practice, like UK and America, they would give 1 year for their youngsters to travel. In Germany, they put you in a fucking hospital or go army, In Latvia, we don't have that time neither. So you just go fucking, straight away to university. Because they also see that as a waste of time.
Right.
They're like, whoa, no, you have to after high school, university, then girlfriend, boyfriend, and babies, and happy ever after.
Right.
Yeah.
Pay taxes.
Yeah, pretty much, right. But for me was when I got my master's degree. So I started in university for like 6 years. So 4 bachelor, 2.5 masters. And then I moved to Canada because I was like, fuck this, like with Latvia, I'm done. And I was in Saskatoon in minus 35, 40 degrees, selling cable TV, house to house, going to door selling stuff. And I remember one day I just literally sat on the bench in the playground, kids' playground. I sat down and I was just crying because I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And then I was like, I need to figure out what I would do with my life. And then I was just literally writing down things like what makes me happy, don't think about the money, like all this kind of stuff. And then I realized, I want to do something where I can speak, where I can be in front of people, where I can, and, looking back now, this is almost like 11 years ago, but I think I'm in a very kind of that place what I was writing down.
Amazing.
And it's, I think everyone should have that moment, and it just, I feel so annoyed that in school system, which is still such an old system, we don't have like a strong mentoring from the teachers or whoever would come into school and talk to kids about like, what do you see yourself in the future, like what career you want to choose and stuff. Because so many kids are just like, I don't know, like, oh, money, like, that's it. But what about what brings you happiness? And then you end up seeing so many students third year in uni and they're like, I fucking hate this shit.
Right.
Why are you here? Well, because of this and this and this. And then they end up like, well, I just have 1 year to graduate anyways. So you get your diploma and then you work in the area which you don't fucking like. And it's like this just vicious circle of,
Yeah, that's right.
And then you just have a lot of annoying people and they have a lot of road rage.
Exactly.
towards
in the way people,
Exactly, but that's how it is, right?
Yeah.
Because then you just kind of pile it up. Well, now I have loans to pay. I have to pay for the for a flat, and I have kids now in a way. Like that's it, And it's really difficult to get out of that rat race.
Yeah, absolutely.
You fucked. Because if you think about it, well, just stop. Well, now I can't because I have this I need to do, and That's an interesting one.
I'm really happy to see that this is finally slowly coming to an end. I hope, since education is more and more open and it's out there. You just need to reach out, right? So I really love that, and more universities actually put their stuff online. There is, for example, a Harvard study which is called Justice. Mm-hmm. Amazing stuff. I really love that. It's a full semester of knowledge. It was philosophy of state.
Philosophy again, I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Philosophy is online now. We are going to be okay.
But state philosophy. So for me, it was particularly, so it's from a law perspective as well, right? So they went through all the philosophers that have influenced our legal system, our public system, and
But I think it's also, one of the reasons why someone like university will do that, the already like money making machine. They're like, oh, there's other ways we can make cash. So we're going to have this online program. We're not going to charge them as much as like if you're actually going to go to university and going to have our professors in face to face. But you're going to do this, you're going to pay less. It's, again, unfortunately, it's not always, that university really thinks about how much better the humanity would be in the future. But a lot of it is about them making more money, which is understandable. It's business at the end of the day, right?
Yeah,
But
this is the problem.
But the beauty, what I like as well about nowadays is just everything is online. And now even like with ChatGPT and all that kind of stuff, you're like stuck. I don't know where to find this information. Like, oh my God, if we would have ChatGPT when I was in uni, it was insane.
It's a game changer.
It's such a game changer. And now I honestly don't even know how does the professors even give marks to their kids? Like what do they do? Because they don't do the old school system of like, I need to find this book and this is where I took this material. So they can even ask ChatGPT like, so where did you find this information? Oh, well, in this book. And so you can use that as a reference, and you literally can put in your master thesis and in your bachelor thesis. Because I remember when I did all those theses, I had to have references and which had to be credible, and those would be checked by your professor.
Of course.
So now you can like ChatGPT, what's the deal with this and this? Oh, it's this. So where you took the source? Oh, from this and this and this. Boom.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I've heard something very interesting from a teacher. She had this opinion that you shouldn't prohibit students from using AI. Mm-hmm. Rather, you should give them a different task where they may actually use ChatGPT in order to solve this, but the nature of the task was very different. So unfortunately, I don't remember the exact task, but it was not that, you may not use technology. They will find a way, obviously.
Well, the same thing was with the calculator. When the calculator came in, right?
That's insane. I was thinking about the same thing.
Well, the same shit. Yeah, like we would be in math class and it's like, no, you're not allowed to use the calculator. Right. You need to, like, I remember the line, right? And then you calculate this, calculate that. And it's like, just to think about that, I would do that. Like when I'm grown-ass man and I'm sitting like, let's say I'm a business owner or whatever. So instead of using calculator, I would be writing on a piece of paper how I'm... doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So why would they just push you to do that in school and say like, well, you need to learn how that works?
Yeah. I've even, maybe you have heard about this, where one of the teachers found a way to prevent students from actually doing this. Mm-hmm. So what she did is... That's ingenious, really. She put the task. Everything is digital already, so the task was already in digital form, like PDF or something, right? And in the blank space, she would actually, in white font color, so it's invisible, throw in some red herrings. So different tasks, different. Something like if you're using this, if you're using ChatGPT, or if you're solving this problem, include the word red herring or something like this,
right?
In your answer, something that the student doesn't see, and then when they just copy and paste the task over to ChatGPT gives the answer, or so the student thinks. But there is hidden messages.
That is so cool.
And she just looked up the word red herring, and she knew immediately, okay, who cheated and who didn't. So that's so different. That's ingenious, right? But it still misses the mark, right?
It misses the point. Like, why is it cheating to look for the information? Again, calculator fastens up everything, like, so you don't have to write yourself, right? So we now agree, okay, calculator is fine. Let's use calculator. Great. So before that, if you're looking for the information, you need to go to library, right? So you go through the endless fucking books. And just to think about that, let's say, okay, you have a problem. Let's say like, oh, what about this law? La la la. I need to find what exactly this law means, whatever. So you go through like 20 books about law, and literally like, even almost like read through the entire fucking book. You know, if you don't get the clue in like the what's the word when you have the whole directive. Like when you have like chapter 1 is about this, chapter 2 is about this. So you might get the answer there. So it could be there, what you're looking for. But what if it's so intricate, like so specific that it's just, okay, so you would read 10 books, right? Just looking for that and waste all that time. So then we became Google. You know, even Google was like, for how long there it was demonized. Oh, how dare you, or Wikipedia, like this is da. And, you know, that was demonized, but now it's okay. Like, okay, you can find stuff in Google. So, and ChatGPT is demonized now. So how long it's going to take before they're going to be like, oh, okay, ChatGPT is fine. You know, you can use it.
Yeah, well.
But it's very interesting. But also, like, I think the frustration from professors, especially older generation professors, is like, dude, we did like this whole time. So now you come here, just type in like keywords and you get the answer. Like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
But who's to say it's not okay? It's just that's how the technology.
It's a convention.
Technology is developing.
Yeah.
So
actually, you really hit the nail on the head here, because in law school, people say the better lawyers are nowhere to find stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
I don't give a fuck that you did 20 books in order to
Right.
find my answer. Just find the answer.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, that's the craziest thing. So you as a lawyer, do you like the TV series Suits?
I love it. Yeah.
Fucking, I watched
Of course, it has nothing to do with the legal system or how it works at all.
How cringe is for you to listen that?
It is. I try to blend it out and just enjoy the plot.
Yeah.
Right.
But so what? They are totally off.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But isn't that American legislation?
Yeah, it's still the same. It's so off, man.
I just like when they say, I subpoenaed you, I subpoenaed you,
Yes.
I subpoenaed everyone.
Objection, Your Honor. Yeah, right. It's
so cringe.
Yeah, this is one of the most boring jobs you can imagine. So there is no lawyer playing advocate or detective. No, this is very, very, and this is also very specific. So law is extremely wide. You need to be a specialist. Like, I don't know, even public law is vast.
Yeah.
So you really need to be, you really need to be an expert in this particular niche, right?
Yeah.
And then you do cases only here. And then most of the time it's just repetitive work then, of course.
But I love the language what they used in Suits. I love it. Like the all this, like, what is paralegal? I had no idea what is paralegal. What is definition for paralegal?
Basically a legal assistant.
Legal assistant, right?
Yes.
And it's when someone says paralegal, it sounds like someone who is paralyzed. And in the beginning, it was like, what the fuck is paralegal?
What is paramilitary for you then?
And then
retarded soldiers or what?
And then, but what I really liked about this Suits is this guy Lewis, the one who was that always trying to, get better, and then he would stab his fucking mates in the back and all that shit. It's just like, that's cool TV series. Okay, so how about we talk about dancing, man? So you are teaching dancing here in Bali. How did your dancing started? When did you start getting into it?
Oh, great story. So I'm very grateful for my parents because they made me dance when I was 6, I believe, until 10.
Oh, right.
So Russian school, very, very technique oriented, very good. I really had a professional teacher. I was actually even on some shows and competitions, which I really dislike today.
What kind of dancing was it? Russian folk dance?
No, I was standard Latin dance, cha-cha, samba.
I did cha-cha, samba.
Oh, you did
too.
it?
Yeah. Cha-cha-cha.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing as well.
Yeah. So this is my baby steps basically in dancing. And then we moved to Germany and couldn't afford any cultural education whatsoever, right? We lived from the States money basically until my dad got the job and so on.
So did you do break dancing on the street?
Right, exactly.
On a carbon box. No,
that was never mine. That was
fighting
never mine.
for the turf and shit.
Right.
Robot boogie.
You watched too many American movies like Step Up.
I love that thing. Like Step Up. Oh, Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
Okay. Shut up.
To each their own, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so did modern dancing. Okay, and then
that was the foundation, basically, right? And then when I was a student, one of my girlfriends actually made me do that.
One of your girlfriends.
Well,
how many did you have? At the same time.
My girlfriend at the time is what I meant.
Yeah, you go. Look at you, linguist.
You're
What?
being the linguistic Nazi here now.
Yeah. I'm one of my girlfriends. Like, okay.
Yeah, so that's why I started, and was perfect. It was really perfect, because if you think of it, when a man starts from zero and a woman, and they meet, for example, right, he already has to lead, because
Yeah, of course.
that's his role, right?
Yeah.
So it's very thin ice if you think about this. But for me, it was different, because I was with my girlfriend like 5 years. We were together, so I didn't have to prove anything, so on. So it was a very suave, like entrance for me, and it was like a virus. I couldn't stop dancing. First it was like once a week, and then twice a week, and then I went to university, found a girl who also wanted to dance, right?
Yeah, where you're like a Billy Elliot, where you're running around and like electricity going through your body.
Right.
Come on, did you see Billy Elliot?
Yeah,
Of course you did. You lived it. You didn't see it. You lived it. I want to boogie. I want to
It was
boogie.
not that bad. Yeah. But yeah, so I found somebody. We broke up, and I still kept dancing, obviously. Then I went to university. I found somebody who I could dance with. Was really good, and whereas everybody was dancing once a week from this class, I was dancing 6 times, sometimes 7 times a week.
Well, what dance did you do?
It was salsa.
Salsa.
Yeah, everything started with salsa. And it was so funny, because this girl dropped out without even a word, saying anything to me, just disappeared from the earth. And I didn't have a partner. So I approached my teacher and said, hey, look, I don't know what to tell you. I guess that's it for me, because I don't have a partner, right? I'm sorry. And she was like, hey, that's funny. I said, why? Well, I wanted to ask you if you want to become a dance teacher.
Oh, shit.
I lost it right there. Like, my jaw dropped. How? I'm a bloody beginner. I couldn't even imagine being a teacher anywhere else, anywhere close, right? And she said, no, I see potential. And if you like, then we can talk about it. And for me, it was never about becoming a teacher. It was about learning from the best. And learning from the best I did. Oh my God. The teachers that she taught me technique. She taught me how to teach it. So methodology. And everything that is concerning the dance business, let's say. And then my colleagues who had already absolved this dance academy, I guess, they were teaching me the real stuff, where every foot has to go and why. And next semester I was already teaching with one of my colleagues.
And so this is back in Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how many years you been teaching them now?
13 years.
13 years.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Something like this.
Wow. So you teach salsa, bachata,
Yeah.
merengue?
No, that's it. Merengue
That's
is
it.
for people who don't know how to dance.
Yeah. So salsa and
Mexicans,
bachata. Just those two, yeah?
Yeah.
What about zouk?
I started Zouk, but I stopped because the community is so
Small. Yeah. And
So
they here in Bali they only dance in Ubud. So
Right.
yeah. So here they start doing a little bit I went to the Red Ruby, so they do zouk as well. But for me, zouk is the one which I kind of fell in love with, because like salsa scene in London was very like aggressive. So you would go to like salsa places and they're just like very like just crowded, and there would be guys who would come there very often just to hook up and stuff. And it's like that culture wasn't that kind of nice.
Right.
And then zouk at the same time was start developing, and I started going there. I felt so much better, and I also like the salsa people, for some reason, in my opinion, they are kind of like, oh, you don't dance the way I want you to dance. And like also salsa music is, to me, is quite boring, because it's always only in the language I don't understand. So they don't take contemporary music, at least then. Maybe now it's different. But zouk straight away was like they would do dubstep, they would do contemporary like Biebers and whatever like that you can actually understand the lyrics, and I was like, oh, they're very cool with that. And my hip hop background, I like that I could just put it in zouk and just do that stuff.
Yeah.
So and salsa, like fuck off, you can't do hip hop now. Like
Yeah.
you just need to be like this. This is the way you dance.
See, I'm actually annoyed when I hear something. It's like a song, a modern song, but dubbed on salsa rhythm. I really don't like that. There are some exceptions,
Right,
yes.
right.
But usually it's like I need this Latin vibe in order to.
You see it different for you because you speak the language.
Maybe, yeah.
But come on, it is different. Like, don't you like to dance something when you understand what they say?
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like there's the funny bit when in Latvia, a lot of people don't speak English, and you come in a club and all these girls are dancing, move, bitch, get out the way,
Yeah,
bitch,
right,
move,
right.
bitch, and they're like, oh my god, such a
It's
lovely
better not
song.
understanding,
I
yeah.
love it. And then you're like, do you understand what they're saying? Like, I don't know, it's just like good rhythm.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So yeah, wow, you've been doing this for a while now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It completely transformed my life.
Yeah.
Because whenever I went to any new city, any new country, the first thing that I did is research, can I dance there?
Yeah, and then you have this idea for this app. Well, tell me about it.
Yeah, well, I started digging into AI and how to use it, and then I needed like a playground in order to see how can I actually get use of the new knowledge that I acquired. And I thought, okay, let's do an app, because I've done a couple of landing pages before that, custom, right? So every line of code written by AI, with AI. And now I thought, let's do the next thing, which is app. Why not? And it sounded crazy because I'm nowhere near being a developer, right? So there was a challenge, and I tried it, and it's so much fun. You wouldn't believe it. Now, after 2.5 weeks, I had an MVP. Now it's a full-blown app. I will launch it in a couple of days. And it's basically about gathering dancing events. So I'm basically solving my own problem.
Yeah.
Because when I go somewhere, I had to go through chats if I knew that they existed in the first place, right? Or go to freaking Facebook and do research, and sometimes show up at parties that didn't exist for 10 years. This kind of stuff. If you don't pay attention when the last comment was, right? Just, hey, salsa, bachata, and this place. I Googled the place. Oh, cool. It's not so far. Go there. Boom. There is no salsa party.
Right. So tell me then in basics how it's going to work. So then obviously people who are organizing those nights, right, the social events, they need to get a hold of that app, right? And so they would enter the information. So what are you going to do with them? No? Okay, tell me then.
Yeah. It's much better.
Okay, it's so much better.
It's so much better. Wait for it.
Waiting.
So since I was using AI, this was the whole purpose, right? I didn't actually had any intentions to build an app. I just wanted to see what's possible with this new technology, being AI, right? So I used AI to build the app, but AI is also the heart of it. So I have declared sources of where people look for events right now.
Right, which is Facebook, as you mentioned.
Telegram
Instagram,
groups.
Telegram groups.
Exactly. And now my app is actually scraping those sources.
How can they just have an access to Telegram groups? Don't they have to have some invitation or some kind of...
Well, I'm part of them. They're open groups, so no problem whatsoever.
Oh, if they're open groups on Telegram and also on WhatsApp, yeah?
I'm not using the WhatsApp yet because it's much more restrictive when it comes to API. For my purposes, Telegram is more than enough. But I will at some point, hopefully, switch to the approach that you suggested, where actually event organizers, venue owners, and private teachers can actually put in their own events, which is far better because the responsibility for the data is on their side, number one. Number two, the data will always be correct or as correct as the person, pays attention.
Yeah.
And it's going to be far richer, which means sometimes, for example, the sources that I use at the moment, they don't include price. Sometimes they don't include a location link, something like this, right? Basic information. So now all of a sudden, this is a mandatory field, right?
Yeah.
So obviously it's going to be correct 100% of the times, which makes my app more reliable. And also a big part, right now I have placeholder images.
How are you going to call it?
Dance Guru.
Dance Guru.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not very original, but yeah.
Cool. I beg to differ.
Objection. Subpoena.
Objection.
Subpoena you.
That's so good. Oh, yeah.
Let's use all the language from Suits.
So good.
Okay. Straight away, then, will you have the filter concept of I want to dance salsa on Thursday night somewhere near where I live? So That's the most important, right? So I would put in like Thursday, wanna dance salsa, and like the closest venues to me. So if you put that in your app, you will be able to find it.
Do you want me to show you?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. So the problem right now is that you go through the whole freaking chat,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, and if you know that the chat exists and you're part of it already, right? Sometimes it's a closed chat, and then you need to wait until the admin, right? But what if you want to dance tonight, right?
Like yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. So it's urgent, and I don't have the info.
So urgent.
Right. And stop mocking me.
Salsa is always urgent.
If you want to dance tonight, you cannot wait for tomorrow for the admin to approve you, right? It's
exactly. I need it right now in my bedroom.
Exactly.
Come on, salsa.
But if you do have access to this group, then you're gonna have to go through all the chatter and so on, right? There's all sorts. If you want to dance Zouk, have fun finding Zouk.
Yeah,
right?
impossible.
Yeah.
It's like a blood diamond.
Right, exactly. Well, actually, blood diamonds are everywhere. So if you think about this,
blood diamond.
Yeah.
They're everywhere?
Yeah, of course. Anyway, my point is that with my app, you can just say, okay, salsa, or in your case, like Zouk, today, class or party, also difference, search, boom, you have the result.
Yeah, perfect.
If there is more than one, then you can have even choice.
That's it. That's awesome. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Well done. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have you, so when are you going to launch it?
I'm waiting for Apple's approval. So that depends a little bit on them, like 2-3 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does it cost a lot of money to actually make your own app?
0.
Wow.
Yeah.
Remember the days when the app cost bajillions?
Dude, I used, it took me 2 weeks. In order to do this, what I've done, you need a UI UX designer, a software developer, and then you need a product guy, and then you need the resources to do so, platforms, whatever. It takes... I don't know. It takes months to do that. Now I have used 2 instances of Grok, paid Claude. ChatGPT is actually the dumbest thing ever, so I don't use it. And I used you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. And I used what was the other one? Gemini.
Right.
And now I'm using Cursor as well, which is a tool that combines all of them in the code editor already.
Do you do that on your phone or on your laptop?
No, laptop. Yeah,
on laptop. Mm-hmm. And so these things you mentioned, these are not apps. These are just like, what are they?
This is AI, different AIs.
Like tools.
Yeah.
Gemini.
Yeah.
Cool.
Gemini is perfect for coding.
Right.
It's insane. It's insane. Luckily, I taught myself JavaScript like 7 years back or something, so I know basics.
Yeah.
Which means I can understand the code that it gives me.
So, but do you have to understand it?
You don't have
in order to use it?
No.
That's crazy. How many people are going to lose their jobs? All the coders.
Oh man, our
some of my friends, like I remember from the past, they were the coders. Like they were coding. They had like Java and whatever the other coding is, and they would study it for years. And now
it's gone.
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes you need a very, very experienced person when it comes to security and cybersecurity, and when you do any money transactions and so on. But even for that, you have modules. You have third-hand providers that you can.
Third-hand providers?
Is it
third-party providers?
Third party? Well, whatever.
Linguist my ass. This is actually funny.
You want to speak French, maybe? I deserve that.
I'm so high roading you right now. I can just speak one language.
I'm used to it. Whenever I said, I'm this linguist, they expect you to know everything, right? And be 100% on, whatever.
Oh my God, that is funny. But yeah, at the same time, like you can speak all the other languages. And it's I wanted to talk about this before, but okay, let's talk more about the AI and all that stuff. So also, which jobs are going to be lost? Like we were just talking about, like coders and all that stuff. What other jobs are going to be obsolete?
Yeah,
very sexy English word.
You know what? Yeah, I like it. Years before AI surfaced, I actually had this idea that I might want to write a book about technological progress and the implications that it has on society. Mm-hmm. And how I saw it is this triangle, and there is a line through it. Mm-hmm. And the line represents the level of technology. And everything that is below the line can be done by machines or whatever, right? Or AI today. And everything that is above is the people that are basically over the technology and still in need.
Yeah.
Right. And it turns out it's completely false, because if you asked anybody 5 years ago before ChatGPT came out, right, what kind of jobs will become obsolete as technology progresses, it was always stuff like, manual stuff, basically. What
Would be
robots
obsolete,
can do.
yeah.
Exactly. And now it's the complete opposite, the intellectual stuff, like being a lawyer, for example.
Yeah.
You don't need this anymore, because 80% of the cases never make it to the court, which means that you don't need a lawyer. You need a lawyer, legal consultant. That's what you need. ChatGPT, the latest version of it, is perfect for that. And the other ones will follow as well. So you only need an actual lawyer with an actual license for 20% of the cases.
Because basically, like, lawyer before that would be someone who has gathered all that information and knows how to find information. But AI can find it like so easy,
Exactly.
so quick, and
Exactly.
everything, just like you type in whatever you want to find out.
That's right.
But talking about the labor stuff, like, it is becoming obsolete, but only if you can afford machinery. But there are a bunch of countries which will not be able to afford the machinery and all that equipment.
Yeah.
Because that still, it needs a material to build that equipment and all that. So many places will say, like, we'd rather just hire these people, which we pay nothing, and instead of have them expensive machinery. So with the labor, yeah, that's kind of, I thought as well, like, why would you need to hire people? But then they outsource in countries where labor force is very cheap, then they don't really need that machinery. But then one thing what I know, and I was thinking about that, and I've heard these discussions. One of the last things what is going to be replaced by robots and AI, whatever, is the human empathy. So, which is in a caretaking industries, like, for example, in hospitals. So there's going to take a long time or whatever. They create a robot which can come and soothe a patient and say, like, listen, oh, you're going to be fine. Like, no, it's actually human there. But I don't know. Do you think that's the case?
I mean, if you think about what's out there already, you can easily build an avatar, for example. That's number one. So the visuals, check. Then we have text to voice, check. And then you have the language model, which is the heart of the brain of the whole operation, check. If you combine those three, basically, there is nothing that prevents us to speaking to Hitler, Kant, who pick one, right? So, and also much, much better.
Yeah, I would like to have a Hitler as my caretaker.
Right, exactly.
Schneller.
What would Hitler do? Right, yeah. No, what I'm saying is that you can easily combine those, and then, of course, since everything is hooked to the brain, like ChatGPT or whatever,
the mother, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
They have access to analytics.
Yeah.
In real time, which means if a patient, in your example, displays any signs of stress through voice or facial expressions, the AI will be able to pick it up and find the best possible way to respond to that. And this is just one example. Like a therapist, right, is a second. Like, if you have the best therapist can't possibly know all the theories and methodologies and so on. AI can. Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you have a camera which is able to pick up the slightest facial recognition, which it can, obviously, and then the voice as well, I don't see how a person can ever top that.
Yeah, but the craziest thing is, like, we're just creating something what is going to be so much better in everything than human. Like, we're just going to be this, like, dumbass,
Right.
bones and blood walking around kind of thing. Because even now, like, the amount of times me and my girlfriend would talk about something or whatever, and we would just like, oh, but what is this? What is this? Oh, wait, ChatGPT.
Right.
And then you like, at least we kind of find information, and then we're like, oh yeah, now I know, and then we continue conversation. But how long before it's going to be just like, well, my AI going to talk to your AI, and we're just going to be standing there like these two idiots? It is scary, to be fair.
It is, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh. Okay, let's have another break.
Blah, blah, blah. Renars podcast.
Okay, Alex is such a busy man. He needs to go teach some sexy salsa moves. So we're pretty much gonna wrap it up. There were the list of books I sent to you, and I looked it up. The movies. The choice of movies was pretty cool. I looked it up.
you.
I never seen any of those movies, but like I just looked it up, like the trailers and stuff. It was like, whoa.
I have
like,
much more.
One, the creepy one was like in Germany. They were doing that.
The life of others.
The life of others. That this guy is like kind of spying after all these other people, and they were about kind of like gonna stop reprocreating people, or they want them to reprocreate. Like, oh, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Highly recommended.
Such a twisted mind would watch these kind of movies.
Yeah. This is the Stasi. This was life, right?
Yeah.
They made you what's the word? Doubt in everybody. Is that the word?
Yeah, suspicious.
Yeah, very. From you, including neighbors and family.
Yeah. Because that also was like produced by like communism stuff. Because during like Stalin's time, the neighbors would be telling on their neighbors, and then they would get prizes and money for that or whatever, like from Communist Party and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, they made a country of spies basically.
Yeah.
And they were spying on each other.
Yeah, and these are the movies which people should be watching. People should be, learning
Especially
about that
now.
stuff. It's crazy. Instead, we're watching about the superheroes and stuff. And then last one, the third movie was, what was that? Captain something? No, what was it called?
Captain Fantastic.
Captain Fantastic. I was convinced it's going to be some superhero stupid movie.
I hate the title so much, man.
And then I was like, this is basically this dad or like this family who grows up from nobody away in the forest somewhere.
Right.
And then they basically come and they try to like live with these people who, and then they kind of question their values. And they question like, oh my God, like this kid gets on his knees to get married this girl who just went on one date.
Have you watched the movie?
No, I just watched the trailer. But
man.
like in that trailer, you can see like, what is it about? Like sometimes the trailers are so good, they kind of tell you what the fuck it is.
Right.
And then his father basically said, no, I'm going to take those kids away from you because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And he's like, no, but these are this is how we live and this is fine with us, right? But anyways, that movie, it sucks that we need to run, but you need to run. It's your fault. Talking about
For the record, it's not.
Talking about AI too much. But that is a sick movie, and the actor as well, the main dude, like he's what was his name?
I really don't know the name, or I'm really bad at it. But he also played in Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, and also Green Book.
Oh yeah, it was the Italian guy. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, cute, not Italian guy.
Yeah, 100% Italian.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He was playing the bouncer, like the guy who helps the black guy. He was driving him around. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So anyways, what was the first one? Was it the spy one or was it the first one?
Oh yeah, the Man from Earth.
The Man from Earth.
Oh,
what was that about?
good. This is a single location movie about the guy who he's not pretends. He makes other people believe that he lived for thousands of years.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Also, like, what's the trailer?
Oh my
God. Yeah. So he just makes them believe. So it's not truth?
We don't know.
So they don't know. Right. Yeah. That was, again, like, this is just such a mind-provoking concept. What if, because they were discussing this, what would happen if this person actually would be with the strength and genetics or whatever from like 10,000 years ago, would be superior or other way around, or like with the mind, like would it be strong with the mind and or just physically?
Right, like basically a caveman living until now.
Yeah, it was pretty
fascinating.
Cool.
And I mean, the mere fact that this movie is a single location movie shows you that it has to be all about the dialogues, right?
Right.
And they're superb.
And about the writing. Yeah,
absolutely.
Where it came with that. Yeah, you need to run to do your salsa thing.
That's right.
I basically always ask my guests one question. I call it the bomb of wisdom. What is your bomb of wisdom to a young Alex?
Oh.
When you, let's say, you time travel, you meet yourself when you're like 13 years old. And you're like, Alex, don't go there. It's scary.
I see. Yeah.
What would you say?
Well, it kind of reminds me of the question or about the concept of what is the most valuable lesson in life which you would like to pass on, right? And for me, it's that things come, the best things in life come as wrapped in a very, very shitty wrapper.
Wow.
But what's inside is so valuable, right? Like a blessing in disguise. That's the expression. many times I thought, oh, why me? It's impossible. Why? And then it turns out this was the biggest lesson that I've learned. And without it, I would not be who I am today. And this is amazing. Yeah. This is I understand it's a very top answer, like from above and not very detailed.
That's fine. Do you have example? What happened with your life that you were like, fuck, why me? And then in longer and you're like, oh, actually it was...
Yeah, it's happening right now. For example, with my business. Something does not go the way I want it to be, even though I thought I've done so much and everything correctly and stuff, and then it still breaks down.
Not everyone makes an OnlyFans, man. Like, you need to have a talent.
Right, which I clearly lack. Yeah. No, but then it makes me more resilient, and I know I will never repeat that mistake again, right? And this is if you have this mindset, this belief, you will find those rappers everywhere.
Right.
And now I'm not thinking why me, I'm thinking thank you very much. What can I learn from this? Yeah. What is the lesson here? And yeah, if I had this mindset when I was a child, I think that would have helped a lot.
Do you think you would be somewhere else now?
Oh, possibly. But I love where I am right now. So yeah.
But that's the thing, like, I think it's great the way every time we look back, and I look back, like, I do want to think it's great that I went through certain things in my life.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, and you appreciate them. Listen, thank you so much, man.
You too.
Thank you. And the last thing where we do a little dance. Come on. Warm up for your salsa teaching classes. Come on.
You're coming with.
I know. I'm staying here.
Oh, no, me no.
I'm too shy. Nice one, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Blah, blah, blah. Renars Podcast.